Ryan Singleton, a 24-year-old aspiring model and film producer, was motivated to attain fame and fortune in Hollywood. However, all his hopes and dreams came to a tragic end when Ryan vanished and his body was later discovered, dumped, mutilated, and missing all of his organs. So, what really happened to Ryan Singleton? I'm going to take a deep dive in towards the events in his life leading up to his death and discuss further in terms of ideas regarding his cause of death.
My name is Ryan Singleton, but call me Shotzi.
Ryan Singleton was a handsome, openly gay man who aspired to be famous. In June of 2010, when he was 21 years old, he moved away from his home in Georgia to become a model in the Big Apple, also known as New York City. During his time there, he was able to earn a spot on the runway during New York Fashion Week. Afterwards, Ryan decided to head to Hollywood, and so he and a couple of his friends got all of their stuff in a moving truck and traveled west to Los Angeles. And along the way, they documented their journey for a docuseries named Are We Famous Yet?, with a goal in mind to be the Black Entourage. Like the show Entourage, which was about a close circle of friends and an agent navigating the vapid land of Los Angeles. In December of 2012, Ryan moved back to New York, and it was then where Ryan met a man named Keith Brewster, who was a fashion designer and celebrity, whom he started to date and eventually married the man, even though he was twice his age. The wedding had many of Keith's family and friends, including Cynthia Bailey of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. However, it did not last long, and within 4 months of marriage, they broke up, and Ryan decided to move back to Georgia. Before moving back, apparently, there was trouble in paradise between Ryan and Keith. There would be times where Ryan would make panicked phone calls in the middle of the night to his mom and many of his friends. Apparently, he told his mom, "I just threw an $8,000 bag out the window, and I don't give a fuck. I can't take this any longer. He's controlling me, and we're living in an apartment with no food, lights, and showering at the YMCA. I can't believe I let him trick me into giving up everything." Ryan would then hang up quickly whenever his husband would enter the room. Ryan would then leave Keith without taking any of his things, and when he went to a family member's home, he would look as if he lost a lot of weight, looked dirty, and looked tired. But Ryan would then go back to Keith. There was also a point where Ryan's mom grew suspicious when he and Keith visited Atlanta to get Ryan a new Georgia ID, and when she dropped him off at the airport after the couple's visit, Ryan called her and asked her to come back and get him. After this, Ryan lived with his mom. Even though his mom knew there were issues between Ryan and Keith, her son did not tell her anything about his marriage. After moving back home, Ryan had an unusual conversation with his mom in terms of karma. He asked his mom if something bad was going to happen to him. Puzzled, his mom wanted to know what he was talking about, and even inquired if he owed any money to people. He said no, but that he has done things on purpose to hurt others, but he never discussed what he was talking about in full detail. 2 days after the conversation in July 2013, Ryan left suddenly for Los Angeles again, which was supposed to be a weekend getaway. It would be a trip he would not come back from alive. Ryan then rented a vehicle when he reached Los Angeles in order to travel to Las Vegas. On July 9th, 2013, the day that he vanished, Ryan had called his mom, asking her to send him the emergency money that he kept in his room through Western Union to Nevada. When she attempted to call him back, he did not pick up or reply. Later that day, Keith called Ryan's mom and asked if Ryan was with her, and also mentioned that he heard people laughing in the background when he spoke to Ryan a while back. But Keith then went on to say that Ryan's life may be threatened. but Ryan's mom never got an explanation from Keith for what he said. So, his mom decides to get in contact with a detective somewhere in Barstow, California, in regards to her son. The detective lets her know that her son was spotted walking down the highway at 2 p.m. by California Highway Patrol. Apparently, Ryan told officers that his car broke down, and when he went to go look for it, they couldn't find it. So the officers took Ryan to the closest town, which was Baker, California, where they dropped him off at a convenience store. The officers then said that Ryan bought something, left the store, and vanished. Apparently, Ryan was supposed to stay at the convenience store to wait for his friend because a friend of Ryan's drove from Los Angeles to pick him up. However, when they arrived at the gas station, he wasn't there. The friend then went back to Los Angeles and filed a missing persons report. Next, on July 10, 2013, Ryan's vehicle was discovered in Barstow County, a few miles north of where officers and Ryan initially searched for the vehicle. Then on July 11, 2013, Ryan's disappearance was given to another detective who told Ryan's mom that Ryan was getting money from different individuals. Sadly, on September 22, 2013, the body of Ryan was discovered 2 miles from the gas station, and it was discovered by 2 males who were walking in the desert west of Baker, California. The day after, the body was examined more closely. Ryan wore faded black high-top court sneakers, black socks, and an orange rubber bracelet that said Try Camp 2013 on it on his right wrist. Although there was no trauma, it was found that a couple of bones seemed to have been missing from the body by animal activity. Mainly, most of his ribs on the left side were gone. Ryan's body only weighed 50 pounds, which meant his body was completely skeletonized. His face looked very dehydrated, and there was a probable hemorrhage on the right side of his skull. Ryan's cause of death was found undetermined based on advanced decomposition. So not only was the body missing ribs, it was also missing organs, such as his liver, eyes, and heart. It was a mystery that has conjured up a couple of theories. One is that Ryan died in a desert, and his body was exposed, which allowed wild animals to remove his organs. But there was another theory that was a bit more chilling. Another theory was that someone stole his organs to sell them on the black market. However, that theory has been refuted by an associate professor of forensics named Joseph Scott Morgan, who has had access to Ryan's autopsy. He shared that coyotes were more probable to be responsible for the removal of his organs, as opposed to black market thieves. Morgan shared that the body would have had smooth margins that shows a scalpel had opened the body, and based on the autopsy, there was no indication of that. There have been discussions on how and why Ryan met his own demise. Could it be that he was a victim of being lured out to a remote destination, hoping to attain a lavish acting role or modeling job? Since Ryan was young and good-looking, with great aspirations and isolated in a new city, he may have been probable to be full of ambition to jump for any career opportunity, even if it was a bit suspect. But according to his mom, he was on his way back home, which presumed that everything went according to plan. But something must have happened along the way, since Ryan passed away in the middle of the desert, with his car discovered miles away. Since investigators were unable to determine Ryan's cause of death or gain any types of leads for persons involved in his death, Ryan's case has remained an open death investigation in the state of California, with not a single person ever being held responsible for his death. What do you really think happened to Ryan Singleton? Feel free to comment down below your thoughts and theories on this case. Also, please like and share this video and subscribe if you want. And I will see you next time on Melanin Mysteries.